All right, ladies, I'm going to start recording because I'm going to kick this off. Hi, Miss Rhonda. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is going to be fun. First and foremost, thank you for jumping on. I know this is earlier than normal. The beautiful thing is I've already had one. So, meaning I've already had a call with the other 5 to 8 star diamonds. So I am lit up. I'm ready for this call. So I want to first and foremost welcome you. I'm going to talk about the layout of this and how it's going to go over the next 8 weeks, because if you've ever been in one of my little hustles, I am an organized person. I will just tell you right now, if you haven't experienced that, be ready, because these 8 weeks is going to be a lot of fun. I am going to go through my little housekeeping items, but first, I'm going to share with you the layout of how this is going to be. This entire bubble of these 8 weeks is about leadership development. After reading your surveys and what you wanted to talk about, what you wanted to grow upon was literally around leadership development, and there was a couple other subcategories, and we're going to break those off. But it all comes back down to leadership development. So the first 3 weeks, we're going to focus on leadership development. Of course, this is going to be communication opportunities. So today you're going to speak, so get ready. But along with that, then, at closing it out on February 20th, we're going to have Arno Nakaha speak on leadership development, which I truly believe he's one of the best executive directors here at Beachbody on leadership development. He is amazing. So he's going to speak to us. Then we're going to go 2 weeks talking about onboarding and systems, which goes right in hand with leadership development. At the end of that, we're going to have Jeff Hill speak, and we'll decide on a topic once we're there. And then the last 2 weeks are on recruiting. So that is literally how it's going to go over these next 8 weeks. Your participation is greatly valued and very much required, said with a smile, because I love when you guys interact. Also, along with that is those calls with Arno Nakaha and Jeff Hill. Those will be at one specific time for all of you ladies. So our time will shift just a tiny bit, but I'll give you the details in advance. I just want to make sure that you're all there for him and that they just have to do it one time with your beautiful faces. So that's how it's going to go. I will just tell you right now, I'm of course excited to spend these 8 weeks with you. Please, I'm committing to you, so please commit to me 1,000%. This is a lot of energy, as you all know, in putting together calls for your team and everything like that, the organization of it. So I'd really love for you to be here, be present, be in the moment, be surrounded with your fellow coaches who are in the trenches just like you, who are very successful 5 to 8 star diamonds and really wanting to make 2018 one of the best years. So with that being said, the positivity, the integrity of this group is really relied upon on you. So please bring the excitement, the energy. There's other platforms out there if you want to bark. Go use those. Don't use mine, okay? And that's said with a smile. None of you use the others either. All said out of fun, but I just really want to keep that there. I'm also going to request, and I love this because this was on the last call, is you being present in the moment on this call. I'm not calling you out, Rhonda. Get off your phone. Be here with me. I know you're good. I just said that because I know you're looking down. But be here with me. Like, get off of Facebook. If you are really trying to build this business authentically, you need to be present in the moment in everything that you do. So my suggestion is, I know, Kiana, you're driving, you're fine. But if you are present, if you are right here in this moment, have your face here, be excited, be interactive, be part of this call, okay? And that's my request on this, okay? So positivity, integrity, excitement. We're going to bust through these 8 weeks and have a lot of fun together. Does that sound good? So going back to the entire plan of this call is really encompassing leadership development. The number one thing that every single one of you said, majority of you said on your surveys, okay? So I want to ask I want to start by asking a question. And I want to get you ladies speaking about this. Is what is working for you right now when it comes to leadership development? Unmute yourself if you want to speak, and please do share. And I will call you out if you're not speaking. So please, who wants to start first? Christy Silbach, go.
I had to go back and look back to what was working when things were flying for me. And over the years, as I developed as a leader, I was coming up with easier systems, for my team and everything and whatnot. But so I have an off-site training that I've always run, developed and run for my leaders. But I went back to also adding them into a Facebook group because so they can connect more. And I know probably all y'all already do that, but for me, I had stopped doing that because we had a couple lulls where we'd put them in that group and it was just like nobody was talking. But it's like rolling. I'm so excited because they're like on their own saying, you describe with a GIF what you do for work. And like they're doing this kind of stuff that I'm like really, really excited about it. And I've rank advanced a lot of coaches in the last 60 days, and they're holding and growing. And so I'm super excited about that. So if you guys have stopped that, I encourage you to start again.
For sure. You said something beautifully there, what you've done before. And I would actually want to preface this. All of you are very successful coaches. Reminder, you are 5 to 8 star diamond coaches that are working really, really, really hard. Okay. You have mad leadership development skills, but it's the number one skill that all of us as a coach come into this business thinking, you know what? I don't know about this, right? I am not really the natural born leader, or this was just never something that I had on the hindsight of what I was going to do. But reminder, all of you have been successful in this. So thank you, Christy, for going back to what previously did work, because again, if it worked then, it's probably going to work for you now. So I love that you brought that up. Thank you so much. Who wants to go next? Leadership development. What is working for you? Yeah, Angie Beasley, go.
Okay, so I had a really, really hard year last year personally and with my business. And so going into this year, I was like, okay, things need to change. What do we need to get back to? And one thing that I feel like my team really lost last year, sorry, Britt, you know me, I get emotional. Last year was a lot of personal growth for me, and it was a really big struggle. And we lost a lot of connection. And we lost a lot of purpose in why we were there. So I had to really get back to that. This year. And so a lot of growing and reflecting on the type of leader that I want to be and the type of team that I want to have. And the whole reason I became a coach was for the connection and the purpose. And, something that I've had to really learn the hard way is you can push numbers and you can push rank and you can push all of these things. But if there's not a deeper purpose behind all of that, then it's going to fizzle out and you're going to burn and crash. And if the coaches don't know the deeper purpose and reason why they're on those recognition boards and why they're getting recognized, like they for themselves need to know that deeper reason and purpose, then it's not going to last. And so that's really something that I'm getting back to. I'm really focusing on servant leadership this year and how I can focus on serving my team and kind of, I don't want to say putting my goals aside, but really just involving them in, okay, you guys, what do we want to do as a team? What do we want to accomplish? What do we want to talk about on the team calls, instead of me just saying, this is what we're going to talk about, this is what we're doing, and just dragging them along. Like I'm really making it a connected team into where they are involved. They feel like they play a crucial part in that team and that they have a purpose for being there. Whether it's they're a hobby coach or a discount coach, they're still a crucial part of my team. One thing I heard earlier this year in a podcast was you cannot activate thinkers. A thinker is always going to be a thinker until they move themselves to be a doer. You can educate the doers. And so I've really shifted my focus on finding those doers and not trying to drag the thinkers, right? Because like we all get so frustrated and like, I need to change my training to get these people who aren't doing anything to get them to do something. But it lies within them. They have to want to do before they're going to do. So that was a big shift for me. So I'm actually focused a lot on volume, building volume and the purpose behind that volume, not just the numbers, but like, hey, you guys, you had 38 PV. That means that you helped somebody get started on a BOD membership. Like you potentially helped them change this whole year of their lives. Even though it was a challenge pack, it's a BOD membership, and they have tools in their hand that they can use for the next year of their lives. So that's a big deal. So really recognizing even just the little moving parts that go into a huge team. One thing I did to really focus on building that connection, because you have to have that connection with your team in order to get them to push outside their comfort zone, right? Like if you don't have that connection, it's really hard to motivate and tell somebody like, hey, you need to do this, when it comes down to pushing them a little bit out of their comfort zone for their business goals. So I set up a coach-only challenge group, and especially with 80-Day Obsession, it has been one of, I will say right now, the number one thing that has changed the entire energy of our team. It's its own, and I do a Facebook group because it just works better for me, but it's coaches only. And I reach out once a quarter to every single coach in my downline. They get an email with a link to the group because, as we all know, there's coaches who their sponsor quits or stop working in communication and people fall through the cracks. So I do reach out to them and say, hey, we have a team challenge group. It's for every single coach in our organization, whether you are discount, active, non-active, you are invited to be in this place to be supported. And it's crazy just by doing that, how many coaches have then been reactivated because they now have a place that they can focus on their journey. And that's where it all starts. If they're excited about their journey, the business aspect is going to be, is a byproduct of that. So having that coach only team challenge group, and I run it pretty similar as my client challenge group. We have a daily prompt. They check in and it is on fire. Like girls are in there like crying and like sharing all this stuff and like, I'm so blessed to be in this. Like girls that have been non-existent in my team page for over 2 years are now showing up in this challenge group page and they're thriving and they're excited now again about the business because they're excited about their journey. So it's been phenomenal.
Thank you so much. And I will always accept your tears. It's good to have them back.
I'm such a ball baby.
You're good. You're good. I promise. Thank you, Angie. I appreciate you. I'm going to call out 2 brand new 5-star diamonds that hustled to the end of the year. So we have Ashton and Z that were welcome, first of all, to our 5 to 8-star diamond group. So that's amazing. But I would love for you, you guys are brand new 5-star diamonds. You pushed really hard in 2017 to get to where you are. Can you tell me, what has worked for you when it comes to leadership development? Z, you can go first.
Hi, guys. Okay, so I wrote down a few things that that worked that started not working last year and that I kind of had to change and find a way to make things work. So a lot of this was like trial and error. I plugged them into a self-paced training, which I know a lot of coaches have, but what I did was I added a lot of like checkpoints along the way with prizes that they can earn if they finish on certain days. And that made a big difference because I felt like with the self-paced, a lot of people would just start and then never go anywhere. So there's a 7-day, a 14-day, a 30-day, a 45-day. And if you complete all these points, like along the way, you get different prizes from me. And so it motivates them to like actually finish on a date. That really helped because our training was just kind of all over the place. And some people would finish, some people wouldn't. And that's made a big difference in getting coaches onboarded. Really helping my coaches make money, not just rank. I think it was interesting, like the rank happened last year. But it wasn't really our focus. And I felt like I wanted sticky coaches. And if a coach is making $500, they're a little stickier, right? Like their psychology is paid for, they're making some extra money. And the rank just kind of started following when I made that my focus of how to help them actually earn a paycheck. So if I could get them to be sticky, like $500 a month and then keep going from there, they would just get stickier. Like the chances that they're going to quit are a lot less. I came from the corporate like sales manager world and we used to do one-on-ones. And so all of my people that show potential, they do get a 30-minute one-on-one every week. I know that's not necessarily scalable long-term. My team is still actually pretty small. But I like one-on-ones, like I've done it my whole life. And so I still haven't been able to transition. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I am still doing them. But it's kind of neat because it's turned into like, how can we be someone that gets a one-on-one with you instead of just me doing one-on-ones with everybody? And then never dismissing anyone. Like going into this year, I've had a lot of coaches that really didn't do anything last year. I really recruited heavily last year. And so I had some superstars, but I had some total, like just didn't do anything. And then I reached out to everyone and I'm kind of shocked how many people are like restarting right now. So just kind of never dismissing anyone that they're not going to, find their potential and actually run with a business.
No, that was perfect. I feel like Christy Lyons, did you have a question for her?
Oh, no.
Oh, you just unmuted yourself. Okay, I'll mute you again. No worries.
My dog did that.
You're good. Z, that's beautiful. I have one question. I feel like all these ladies have a question for you. Well, they're asking what kind of prizes you do, but also on top of it, what expectations do you set for the requirements for them to get a one-on-one? because it could be scalable, and it's actually a beautiful thing that you do that. Never a bad thing, but how do you set the expectation on how they're going to be able to work with you?
Yeah, you have to be hitting Success Club consistently. And I usually look for like at least like 3-4 months. Like if you're for, in the last 3-4 months that you've hit, you do have to send me your business tracker for the last 2 weeks. So I want to see that you're just doing like the daily activities. And you do have to be a personally sponsored coach. That's like the final one. And that's it. Like there's sometimes I'll do another requirement if I feel like someone's a total time waster. But if you're going to send me your business tracker, and you've been hitting Success Club, you're probably putting your time in, and I don't mind putting my time into you.
For sure.
And then after we do the one-on-one, then I can decide like, do I want to do it weekly with them, or do I want to do it every 2 weeks, and just kind of take it from there.
Perfect.
I think someone was asking about prizes.
Yes. What are the prizes that you do?
Okay. So if they hit the first 7 days checklist, their first personal development book is on me. If they hit the 14 days, then it's that gray Beachbody tank that has like the cutouts on the side. The 30-day is the Beachbody Coach Zip Up hoodie. And so from there on, it's always going to be like different Beachbody clothing and stuff. And then the final one, they get a set of books from me, but it's pretty hard. Like you have to hit diamond in 60 days to get the final prize. So it's not necessarily like everyone can usually get the 7-day if they really do it, but it's definitely not geared to be like everybody gets a prize. It's supposed to be a little challenging.
For sure. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about you, Ashton?
All right. So actually I sit here and I'm just like taking everything in, because I know leadership is an area where I'm not that natural born. I always wanted to be involved, but never wanted to be like president. Like I never wanted that role. So this has really been a rude awakening for me, in an area that I definitely want to grow in. But I feel like my team is so, like, I'm in it so much with them right now. Like I am just learning right alongside of them. And I feel like we're kind of in the trenches together, and we've really just tried to focus on coming together as a huge community. And I do have a pretty local team, not like just in like a 10-mile radius, but like I'm in Nebraska, and so like all over Nebraska. And we've just really tried to get together for events, not just Beachbody events, but like have our own little events. And from that, I've had coaches that have, like I had one coach that said, she goes, okay, we had a little get together at my place and we worked out, and then, did like a Shakeology bar. We got ready and we did like team picture kind of a deal, and then went out for supper. And she just said, she goes, I didn't think I deserved that when I came. And like 4 months later, she was a diamond. She goes, I just got that sense like this is what I wanted to do. And I had purpose, and, I loved getting to meet everyone else. And within our team, best friends have been formed that didn't, know each other before, even though we are kind of a local thing. And so I've really tried to encourage that. And now it's fun to see, because I do have coaches other places really working with their local challengers and their local coaches, just to get together and show that it's more than just a workout and nutrition. Like really the community of Beachbody is what pulls it all together. Because I always say that people can go anywhere and get a shake. They can go anywhere and get fitness, but what do we have to offer? So really just bringing that home. And like I said, I think that has been huge. We had 30 of us that ended up getting together before actually a Super Sunday event. And so that has been great. We did do a Slay December, and kind of like Angie said, whereas I was starting to hear people say, well, I just got someone on All Access, like I just did this. I did, because they didn't get their points, kind of a deal. I just sold one time of Daily Sunshine, kind of a deal, and it was just like, okay, guys, this is not a just, like that is awesome. You have the potential, this person, to starting something fabulous. And so we did this where every time someone, I just started a thread in our coach group, and if they sold someone Daily Sunshine, if they started someone on All Access, if they, anything like that, or a sampler kit, a new person, they put what it was, who it was, and every 25 people, I gave out some swag, something out of those 25 names. So if it was Stephanie that added 5, then her name went in there 5 times or whatever. But again, it was just, and then they really pushed towards the end. It was like, okay, we want to get to 125, you know, and so I think that was a great thing at the end of the year, just to really, when things are kind of a little slower, and that final push to make everyone feel like they were doing something. So it's kind of.
No, that's perfect. But I feel like you're recognizing things that aren't normally recognized, and it's a beautiful thing. People come to this for a community and to be part of the community. And I know you're creating that in Nebraska, but I also feel like you're obviously doing that with your coaches via social media platforms. So no, that's perfect. Thank you so much. I will ask Brooke Orchard, do you mind? I know you have a baby on your lap. Do you mind unmuting yourself? Thank you, Ashton. And just sharing with us as far as leadership development goes, because you have always been one to really create that standard within your team. Do you mind sharing with us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So my voice is gone too. So hopefully you can hear me. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I went through a major transition at the end of the year. I felt like a lot of my team quit, actually. People who I was excited about, you know, their growth. I saw them going places, and then they just quit. So that was hard, but I've always been the type to just build, and not put my focus on, you know, a small amount of people. And lately, I've just been really focusing on friendships more than just, you know, having a business partner. I think it's so important to have that personal connection, because a lot of the coaches that have been with me for years are the ones who I'm close friends with, and who I really connect with on a personal level every single week. And then also recently I've been delegating like team calls and having my girls kind of step up and do some trainings, or host one of our team calls, to co-host a team coach sneak peek with me. So just doing more like team things I've been really focusing on lately. And I've just been focusing on more so growth now, and that new blood coming in is just really exciting those older coaches too. Sorry, my voice is so horrible. And then just recognizing those big and small wins. So not just volume, not just Success Club, but just really celebrating like a coach's first challenge pack sale, and just really keeping it simple and remembering to do those things, because they're easy to forget for me. So
perfect. Thank you. Your poor voice.
Yeah, I know it's bad.
You're good.
One thing I will say too is that I've been trying to dig deep into my organization, and not necessarily doing like one-on-one calls, but definitely putting my focus on coaches who are active in the business, who are maybe underneath a coach of mine who is not very active. So just putting my focus on them, because more than likely my coach is going to quit who's not active. So I want to make sure I'm helping those active coaches who are not necessarily mine yet.
For sure. Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing. Thanks for letting me call you out. Who wants to go next? What is working for you as far as leadership development?
I can go.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So last year at leadership, I changed a lot of things, but the main thing is I closed down my team page and combined forces with, the team page is still open and they can go there for files and stuff, but I really looked at someone. So my upline is like non-existent. Like I think she's quit, but I don't know. I have no idea. Like I don't talk to her. I don't talk to my coach's coach. I don't talk to my coach's coach's coach, but I looked kind of deeper up higher in the organization. And there was one girl that I always kind of related to, like the one girl that I found, man, she's working the business. So we became, I reached out to her. We became close over the last couple of years, and we just decided that we wanted to join team pages. And that has been an incredible thing, because I am in her organization, and I just feel like a lot of times we feel as coaches that we got to do it ourselves. And I'm a very type A personality. And so it was really hard for me to like let go of the control, but it's been the biggest blessing in my life, because I don't have to do my own team calls every single week. I don't have to run trainings by myself. I don't have to do all these things by myself. And we split up the whole entire calendar. And then we took our leaders, like our star diamonds, and put them in a thread. And we talk every day with our leaders in there. And then we split up the work. So like all of us go within our downline and ask coaches to do the open house, and all of us. So it's a very much a collectivistic, I don't know if that's, I used to teach this in high school, but just instead of like an individualized thing, it's really a team effort, and people are seeing other people rise up. We do things every week trying to celebrate. I forget who talked right before me, but she was talking about the thread. We do the same thing, so that it's like an emoji thread. They love it. It's super fun. And we say, anyone that has hit, 100 PV this week, like put this emoji up. Anyone that has helped someone with a all access challenge pack, with just Shakeology, with just Beachbody on Demand. Maybe you sold like, I don't know, like some clothes or whatever. So we're celebrating a lot of different things, signing a coach, and the thread is off the chain. Like it's like every single person just loves, they can put gifts up there and they love doing different stuff. And so that's been fun and interactive. But I think the main thing that I've changed is, one, letting go of control. That if I'm being honest, like I think deep down inside, you feel like you could do it your way and you could do it better. But my ways wasn't always necessarily working, and I was stressed out, and I was to the point where I was exhausted and burnt out. And I wake up every day not burnt out at all and really excited to work. I know there are people out there in Beachbody that don't get that way, that love this, that eat, sleep, and breathe it. And I've always like been jealous of those people in the sense, because I'm like, how can they do that every single day? And I know that there's people that bleed Beachbody blue, and so do I. But there are times where I get very burnt out, where I feel like I was doing it alone, where I feel like it was really hard. And so to have someone, when I'm having an off day or not my 100% day, like be able to step up and lead is pretty cool. The other thing that we've done is we put all of our leaders in pods. So like all of our coaches. So we basically took what happened at leadership with, I believe it was Ruth. Was it Ruth or was it? I don't think it was Ruth. It was someone that did the tracker, and they posted it in their team page.
Moira.
And she had like a guideline. So we took that and we added volume. So we call it a walker, jogger, runner. And then we ask coaches to take a look at those and to decide if they think they're a walker, a jogger, or a runner, and then also play rank into it. And we now have these threads where we're talking at where they're at. So the walkers, we check in with a couple times a week. We really focus on their joy in the business. We really focus on their small wins. And we go every other day. So like I posted something and she posts something, and it's been incredible to connect with these people. And then the joggers, they want to make a consistent income, at least $500 a month. They want to make Success Club. They want to invite a certain amount of people. So we're constantly reminding them of those behaviors, but we're doing it in a way that's leading with their joy and their happiness. And we've gotten super positive feedback. We started at the end of January. Beginning of January. And there's been amazing feedback. Like they feel more connected than they ever have. They feel like they are not getting left out, that we're not forgetting about certain people. They can ask questions. And it's been a pretty incredible thing. And I stole that from Micah because I reached out to Micah and asked her a few questions, and she said that was what was working. And I was like, hey, if she's doing it, I'm going to try something. So
That's awesome.
I guess those are the things that are helping me. And I love hearing what all you guys are doing, because I think sometimes my problem is I start things and I don't always follow through with like doing them. So I'm trying not to start so many different things, but get excited and create momentum and look back. And I'm already seeing changes in my team. I know this is about leadership, and I'm not going to say that I've had all these rank advancements, but in my downline and in my team, I'm seeing coaches that have never signed coaches actually signing coaches and actually signing challengers and getting back on the board with Success Club. So I know like in 4 months from now with these pods, it's really going to create a momentum.
For sure. Thank you so much for sharing all that. That was money. Good job. Okay. Who wants to go next? And is Rhonda muting herself? Because I was actually going to call you out based on, will you go? Because I think you have something so great to share after what we talked about a couple days ago. So will you go?
Yeah, so I have a couple new things that I'm doing, and it's like, oh my gosh, the fire with my new coaches is so exciting. So I'm having them
as a new coach go live on my team page when they become a new coach. And it's funny because it could be as much as unraveling their package. They're really excited to be a brand new Beachbody coach, to one of my new coaches 2 weeks in already has 24 new customers. Now, some of them literally bought samples of Shakeology, some bought, challenge packs, and her just going live, sharing tips and tools in our team page of what's working for her as a brand new coach. And so I found that asking them to just do this, whether it's just, simply, I just got my package, and they don't feel like they have anything to share, but yet they're sharing that, it gives them the confidence within the team page to be able to go live or be more present in the groups. And it gives them like this leadership role that they didn't even think that they had. And so that's been really exciting, and really has lit a fire under a lot of my older coaches that are now signing coaches now, and just motivated by the newer blood that's come in the team. And so that's been really exciting. I've never done that before. I actually had one of my brand new coaches do it last month, and I was like, oh, we're going to start doing this. That was amazing. And just watching everybody engage from that. One of the other things, and I know a lot of you guys already do this, that's really been working, is I grab a lot of my leaders, put them in a private message. We do Zoom calls together each week and just talk about what's working, what's not, brainstorming together, sharing tools, sharing, different things from Instagram to Facebook to, leadership roles, to what their new coaches, how their challenge groups are going. And so we just really powwow together, and we've been adding to that group message, some of my coaches that are in there, some of their coaches that are killing it. So the group keeps growing a little bit more. I think right now we have 7 people in there. It's nothing crazy, but it's just the people, it's like no nonsense. We're just going to get down to how are we going to grow and go from there. So those are 2 things that are really exciting right now. I think for me, asking my new coaches to go live in my team page has been really huge. And it's funny, because everybody's scared to go live, right? But for some reason, the fact that they're doing it in the coach page is like, oh, well, gosh, we're safe. We're safe here. And then all of a sudden they crush it, and they're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. So it really gives them this leadership role as a brand new coach. So yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. I just want to add one thing, and I know many of you are like this. Rhonda is a very driven business person, but one thing she has realized is that she wants to build that more connection, that community, right? Yes. Do you mind touching on that too?
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel it's funny. God, I'm a fun, lighthearted person, but for some reason I get like in this business mode, and it's like, all right, we want to help 5 people, and I've had to really transition this year into, it kind of broke my heart what have I been a coach for 5.5 years? And, I don't know my coaches as well as I wish I did. I want to know them. So during our team calls, we have a little bit of a party every single time we start now. And we just talk about like kids being sick, or, or the trips we're going on, or the grocery store, or how is your life going? And I know many of you guys probably do that, but unfortunately, I think for me, like the last 5.5 years, it's been like, all right, let's get down to business. We've got 1 hour to say what's working, what's not. And I'm totally taking a step back from that. They get so many calls from, corporate and Beachbody and different things. They get so many of those tools, but being able to build that long-term connection that's, a friend for life. And, I spend more time with my coaches than I do with my family. And so I think we forget to slow down and just be there for them. And it's funny, maybe I'm saying this and maybe it's not okay, but I feel like I was scared for so long to have my coaches be my friends because they might quit. They might quit and hurt me. And I don't know if you guys feel that way, but I have cried so hard, and I have nightmares about people that might hurt me because I love them. I love them so hard. And so why are we not asking them to be our friends and having those happy hours and having that fun time? And, we spend more time with them. Why are we making it all just about business? So I don't know if anybody relates to that, but I really feel that is where my heart is this year, is that's really what was missing in my business took me 5.5 years to figure that out.
No, it's a beautiful thing. And so yes, Brianne, I agree. And there's so many of you that do agree with you on that. I agree. I'm the one that can just jump right into business. But one thing that I've had to learn over the years, and if I ever do it to you, call me out. But I literally like, how are you? How are your kids? What's going on with you? Like I always try to start there first, because if not, I'm like, Ashley, what are your numbers? And I go like this, and it's like, and then it's just that you're not in the present moment. You're not really building that relationship and that connection. And without that relationship and connection, there's no trust. And so she shared that with me. So thank you for letting me call you out on that. But I think it's so beautiful, because now that this is going to click for her, it's now going to be more fun, right? So thank you. Yeah, good. I love that. But majority of us are like that. So I promise you we can relate to that. We have time for one more person to go. Who wants to go next?
I could go.
Perfect. Go.
So I'm probably on the opposite end of that spectrum. But anyway, so, for me this year in leadership, it's kind of been a transition for me, but it's been really, really good. I have learned that I have to let my leaders kind of grow up a little bit more. And so, for instance, I have to put my leaders in a separate group, and I still support them 100%. I still talk to them when they need me, but I had to let them go kind of so that they can grow up, because what happened was there was no growth for them. In over a year, most of my Star Diamond coaches. And that was partially my fault too, because I wasn't allowing them to grow and I wasn't growing the way I should. So what I changed my focus on this year is 100% my new coach, not 100%, I shouldn't say that, but my new coaches. And so it's actually brought so much more joy to my business and to myself, to transition back to being like, kind of feels like a new coach again. So what I'm doing is all of my new coaches are in a message thread, and they all started at the same time. So it's so much fun. They are like feeding off of each other. I have 10 of them in there, and they are all just like rocking it together, and they're running challenge groups together, and I have them all on team calls together. They all read Get Over Your Damn Self, and they would all talk about it. We read it together. I read it with them. I've already read it, but I read it again with them. And I just wanted to like be in the moment with them and kind of feel like what it felt like to be a new coach again, because I've been a coach for 3 years now. And I had to shift my focus back to recruiting 100%, because what happened to me, and I'm just sharing this because I want some of the newer 5 stars, is it's so easy to get stuck on wanting every single one of your coaches to be successful and forget about recruiting, because you feel so devoted to your team and your coaches. And so you feel like they're all pulling at your heartstrings and you have a relationship with them. So you spend so much time wanting them all to be successful. But in the meantime, you have to keep recruiting at the same pace you were. Otherwise, you'll get into the situation where you get stuck. Anyway, so I just want to throw that out there for the new 5 stars, so that doesn't happen to you.
I think it's a great reminder for all, to be honest with you. So no, that's perfect. Anything else you want to add on that?
No, not really. Just that I'm just focusing more on recruiting than anything, and then starting my new coaches off right. And one thing I'll throw in there that's really been working for me is I'm focusing on getting them results their first 30 days and inviting one person to join them in the first 30 days, like one friend, one family member to buy a challenge pack. And then the second 30 days, I'm focusing on getting them to run challenge groups together and to hit Success Club. And that seems to be like sort of the perfect situation for my coaches. It seems to be the perfect transition into coaching and Success Club.
For sure. I love that. But I love the fact that you're potting them together and not having to do, you keep on moving, and then you're putting them together and then allowing them to run with it.
Yeah, it's working well for me, and it's a lot more fun too.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, I know many of you participated. I love the chat thread going on here. I just want to make sure all the questions are answered. It looked like Ashley sent a message. Hey, Rhonda, do you mind? Great question. So Ashley said, wrote you a message, you messaged her back, but then she's talking more about like sharing life on your team calls.
Yeah, you know what I do is now when I start the team call, I don't like do recognition or anything right away. I'm just like, hey guys, what's going on? And I just literally go through. Now, my team calls aren't huge. I'll have 10 to 20 people on. So as they jump on, I recognize them and we just kind of chat. And, I've got to know them better. So I'll be like, oh, how's the baby? Or, oh my gosh, one girl's in Minnesota. I'm like, hey, so how's negative 50 today? Is it good? So we just kind of I just make it really brief. And then some of them will share in the challenge group if their husbands are sick. I'm like, oh, is your husband better? Or, and just gives them an opportunity just to share something outside of coaching. I know some of your guys' team calls are huge and that might be hard to do that. But I just try to dumb it down and act like they're like a friend at my kitchen table. So, and kind of go that route if that helps. Yeah.
Perfect. And thank you, Crystal, for also, you're going a lot over here. I love it. So are you getting your questions answered? Now you moved. Where did Crystal go? Oh, she's right next. Okay. I see you. Okay. Perfect. Love it. Thank you so much for letting me call you out. Thank you for jumping in. Thank you for the message on the right. I'm just going to go through, there's just two last things I'm going to go through on this. And I just want to go back to the structure of this call because I know a lot of people jumped on a little bit late. So let me just go through that real quick. And then I'm going to read you a beautiful thing out of an amazing book that I am reading all about leadership. Okay. So it's going to be story time. So you can kind of just take a moment, take it in. Don't fall asleep on me unless you want to. But I just, once again, want to say thank you. Thank you. I'm excited that you're showing up. I'm thankful that you're committing to these 8 weeks. I'm committing to you. Please commit to me. It takes a lot of organization and structure to really host something like this. And so your participation is greatly welcomed, and I truly am thankful for it, and I really want it, to be completely honest with you. Just a reminder how these 8 weeks are going to go. Everything is about leadership development. That's what we're going to talk about. The number one thing that I realized on all your surveys or the topics that you wanted to discuss was leadership development. So that's the big bubble of it all. We're going to focus on the next 3 weeks, so today and the next 2 on leadership development. Our third call in, we have Arnona Kaha, which I truly believe is one of the best leadership development people within Beachbody. Here, he is absolutely incredible, so he'll be speaking to us. Then we're going to go into 2 weeks of onboarding and systems, also in realm of leadership development. And then we're going to have Jeff Hill speak. For those 2 times that we have these 2 speakers, we will come together with the first group, and we'll all give you the specific time so that we're all on there together for those 2. Then the last 2 weeks of our 8 weeks is going to be on recruiting. So you can kind of see the structure of it, but it all lies in leadership development. I do request that you do, if you are able to, take your picture off, be present, be in the moment. Don't do anything else but be here, because I promise you that will allow you to take a step back from your business that may be overwhelming, or from family, or for life, or whatever it may be, and just be present with your fellow leaders, your coaches that are also just like you, hardworking 5 to 8 star diamonds that are in the trenches just like you. Okay, so please be present, please be active, please, obviously the integrity of the group, be very consistent on, being excited, and no negativity, please. I don't deal with it anyways on a personal, professional level. So I will nip it in the butt right away, but I just appreciate you bringing the energy and the, especially so early in the morning. So I appreciate that. And then also our chat thread could get very overwhelming. So obviously you can chat in that. If you need to mute it, you can. Just a reminder to check in every so often so you know what's going on. I will post the recordings in there. But also if you have a best practice you want to share, put it in our 5 to 8 star diamond mastermind group, because it's with all of our 5 to 8 star diamonds that are also on the 8:30 a.m. call. Okay, so that's that. I want to go into this book. So I've told a couple of you about it, and I was recommended by one of our amazing leaders. And I truly feel like this is the book that will help you the first, 6 months of your business and for life of your business. It is The Power of Positive Leadership by John Gordon. So if you've ever read The Energy Bus, and it's kind of comical because he actually wrote these books because he's not a positive person. And so when I read that, I was like, say what? Because, I think The Energy Bus, like that's the first one I read years ago. And now this one he just came out with last year. But I really, truly feel like, and I know if you master leadership development, you are going to be successful in this business, okay? Because it's all about the connection, the culture of what you're creating. So I'm just going to read a couple things and then we'll close out this call. So it takes a lot of work to create a world-class organization. It's hard to develop a successful team. It's not easy to build a great culture. It's challenging to work towards a vision and create a positive future. It's difficult to change the world. As a leader, you will face all kinds of challenges, adversity, negativity, and tests. There will be times when it seems as if everything in the world is conspiring against you. There will be moments you will want to give up. There will be days when your vision seems like a fantasy more than a reality. That's why positive leadership is so essential. Pessimists don't change the world. Critics write words, but they don't write the future. Naysayers talk about problems, but they don't solve them. Throughout history, we see that it's optimists, the believers, the dreamers, the doers, and the positive leaders who change the world. The future belongs to those who believe in it and have a belief, resilience, positivity, and optimism to overcome all challenges in order to create it. Love that. Okay, your most important job. Culture is not just one thing, it's everything. Culture drives expectations and beliefs. Expectations and beliefs drive behaviors. Behaviors drive habits, and habits create the future. It all starts with the culture you create and drive through the organization. That's where all success and great results begin. Driving your culture is not something you can delegate. You are the leader, and you must spend your time, energy, and effort creating and building the culture of your team and organization. And then the last thing. You need to know what you stand for. You might be wondering where to start when driving and building a culture. I believe it starts with 2 questions. What do we stand for? What do we want to be known for? Okay, just a little, and I'm going to keep on going back to this book because it's freaking good. But I promise you, it starts with positive leadership. Ordering that book, I would suggest it. One of those ones that you do purchase and that you do highlight and not just listen to. So yes, I said that was great too. Good. Love that. So thank you, ladies, for showing up. Let me know if there's any other suggestions that you have along the way. I appreciate your time. And then let's just, keep, like I said, the thread and the group. And I'm excited to enjoy these next 8 weeks with you. Does that sound good? Okay. Thank you, ladies. Enjoy your day. Happy Tuesday. See ya.